everyone. Welcome back. Or welcome for the first time. I don't know. That's cool.
Or welcome sporadically. I don't know how often you're here.
Yes. Hello, I'm Whitney.
I'm Amy.
And we are
On the Haunt,
a paranormal comedy
podcast. We can't ever say all that together.
We can't.
Sorry. We're not that with it.
No. Not at all.
Yeah, welcome.
Cool. Thanks.
This is the second.
Thanks.
I always feel like I have to justify this is our second one we're recording today, so we never know how to open it.
But we're doing great. Thank you,
we are.
Miranda. Miranda left us a little treat.
We don't deserve you.
We really don't. You're so sweet. You're the best. Hope you all had a great Easter. And
Which was last week.
Some great food.
By the time this comes out.
That was last week.
I know. Keaton already called my mom to like get the DL on what the menu is going to be.
You need to know.
Well,
it's
she's
important.
gluten-free. So,
yeah. Well, I was gonna make something, a big thing, and then my mother-in-law was like, do you want to just throw in a big frozen lasagna? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
Fantastic. Yes.
That's exactly what I want to do. So it's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Well, let me see, Amy.
What have I been doing with myself?
What have you been doing with yourself?
We're very prepared to be on the air. I've been watching The Invisible Pilot on HBO.
No. Okay.
It's pretty good. It's a documentary.
I'll write that down. Is this something with the Boeing situation?
No.
Okay.
No. This is a guy that faked his own death and became a drug smuggler.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, have you watched Bad Vegan yet?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It got so weird, didn't it?
Yeah. I'm like, you're too smart to be this dumb.
Right. Why are you falling for this?
Yeah. And that guy was gross.
Super
He
gross.
was not Matthew McConaughey.
No. No, and he thought, also, you thought your dog was going to be immortal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that really what you want? You know
That's a great point. If you're not immortal,
Yeah.
only your dog is.
Who's going to take care of it?
Yeah, and you're 100, and you got this dog who's needing to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're like,
And
God.
just because it's immortal doesn't mean it doesn't age.
Oh.
Maybe it's going to the bathroom all over the place.
Maybe
Who
it's
knows? That was our takeaway from the entire thing. Not that she took all the money from her employees. Or she thought her dog was going to be
And
immortal.
that poor guy he's not poor, clearly, because she borrowed $3 million or whatever from him. Never got his money back. I'm like, if he still seemed to be fine, though, as he's sitting by that pool, I'm like, is this your pool?
And what was with her pigtails?
Oh,
come on.
No.
What
was it was the 2000s, wasn't it?
Still.
I know. But it felt very Paris Hilton, she was trying to emulate her.
And Alec Baldwin wanted to date
That's
her.
weird. That was a whole weird piece to it. And just vegan food. I'm like, I have a vegan friend from work, and I'm always just like, what do you eat? I don't understand. Only vegetables and fruits?
And it can't have any animal byproduct.
I know.
No milk, no cheese,
right.
no nothing.
She doesn't eat gummy bears.
Because of the gelatin.
The gelatin, thank you. Yeah, they were talking, everyone's like, that lasagna. I'm like, then they show a picture of that lasagna. I'm like, that looks nasty. Is that just cucumbers? It's like cucumbers, ricotta-looking cheese, but obviously not because they can't eat cheese. Yeah. More cucumbers?
And dairy-free cheese is nasty.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't melt.
That ain't right.
Not like it should. Anyways.
I mean, if you're a vegan, good for you. Because I wish I could be a vegan.
Because I tried to completely cut out dairy in all areas just for the fact that because of the hormones in it. And I'm like, well, how much can I really be getting from this cheese?
Exactly.
I'm not giving up cheese.
No.
Or carbs or anything else.
A cheeseless life is not something I want to live.
No. For sure.
Mexican food, without cheese?
No.
What?
A salad without cheese.
A salad without a pizza.
Yeah.
Without cheese.
No.
Ugh.
We're not doing it.
And you can't make us.
Yeah. So anyways, if you haven't checked out Bad Vegan,
check it out. It's pretty entertaining. I watched it all in one day. Great. So should I just go on?
Yeah, let's just go.
Let's just go on, girl. My story's not even very long, so this might be a very short episode, which is
okay.
fine.
I don't think mine's very long
Yeah,
either.
Maybe you're going on a short...
Mine's probably real redundant, because I just copied and pasted a few articles and didn't check to see if it was redundant.
Maybe you're just going down the street and you don't need a long episode. Here we go.
It's that time of year. We're tired, okay?
And
it just needs summer to get here.
Today I'm going to talk about the Shag Harbour UFO incident.
Shag Harbour?
Yeah, baby.
Not
yeah.
Shag Harbour? I heard of Sag Harbor. What is Shag? Like Austin Powers?
Hold on, let me look through here and make sure it is Shag and not. What were you saying?
Sag Harbor. That's like in New York.
Says Shag throughout this. We're in Canada. Okay,
never mind.
Join me, will you?
They're like, sorry, Sag Harbor's already taken. Okay, we'll go with Shag.
The look on your face when you were like, are you Shag? And then I did a really bad Austin Powers impression. Okay, so join me, will you, on our trip to Quebec.
To Shag Harbor.
Canada. Remember the time when we were just like, what did we say? Something Canada. Because we don't know the, like,
provinces.
I almost said quote-unquote states.
Yeah.
Not states.
No.
Provinces. They're so big.
They really are.
They're huge.
And so many.
Is there? I thought there was only like 4.
Oh. Well, that's when you know 0, that's a lot.
Yeah, we have 50 states. Imagine what that's like for people. They're like, good God.
People really don't even understand how the United States, like,
works.
Like, well, yeah, like people from other countries and stuff, they're just like, wow, that's really big.
Yeah.
You don't think about it because it's all we've ever known.
Well, and it's also like, why do we have state laws and also federal laws? And federal laws trump our state laws. So, like, why have state laws? Do you ever notice that? Like, for instance, medical marijuana is legal in Missouri, but it's not legal federally.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And all marijuana is legal in Illinois.
But not federally.
Right.
So, like, I guess if the feds were like, hey, we're cracking down... I don't get it. It's confusing. Either. What are we doing here? I mean, not us, like
many
everyone.
Laws to remember.
God, it's hard being a lawyer like us.
It's so weird. Like, you're breaking the law if you're here, but then you cross the state line, and it's not. Stupid. You're not breaking the law.
It's stupid. We just need federal laws. But I guess the states want to have. Anyway, whatever. We don't know about government. Why am I talking about the government? As if I know anything.
I don't know. I'm not chiming in on it because I don't know. Maybe there are reasons we want state.
Well, I think, because it has something to do, right, with them coming from England and being like, England had, like, as a country, had all the power. We want the states to have some power. And
maybe.
I don't know, something like
either.
That. But still, then why does federal law trump state law? Anyway, moving along, back to Shag Harbor.
Yes, please. Please do.
Shag Harbor. A UFO incident. God, I love UFOs. I mean, not really. Don't come for me.
No.
Here we go. Air Canada, Flight 305. En route to Toronto, while flying over Sherbrooke and Saint Jean? Because it's French, right?
Yeah.
Saint Jean, Quebec. At 3,600 meters.
Isn't that what Celine Dion is from? Quebec.
She's so funny. Isn't she?
Yeah, she's always, like, intense.
I know.
I sing my song, the heart will go on. It's not what she sounds like at all. That's like she's
What'd you say, Otto Gabon?
My heart will go on.
Oh. But she just...
Otto Gabon.
And she also just, like, talks...
Well, she has a French accent.
I know, but then it is just like this.
Yeah, it's very exasperated.
Like,
maybe she's tired.
Do you have asthma?
Take a breath. Like... She needs cheese in her life. Clearly. Like, I'm not body shaming, but she is too thin. I'm worried about her. Celine, are you okay, girl?
Call us.
Yes. We will get you a pizza.
Oh, is her husband still alive?
No, he died.
Then just come live with us. It's fine.
Well, she has children.
Oh, they're probably adults.
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder how old she is. 50? Everyone's 50 in my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway. God. So dumb. Moving on, here we go. Back to Saint Jean, Quebec. We're at 12,000 feet because we don't know meters because we're American. Sorry. 3,600 meters. From the Halifax International Airport, Air Canada First Officer Robert Ralph pointed out to Captain Pierre Charbonneau, I'm sure I said that wrong, on Flight 305 that there was something strange out the left side of the aircraft. At 7:15 p.m. How freaking scary.
Yeah.
Captain?
Crap.
Do you see that?
And what do we do? We did not train for this.
We're up here. It's over there. Let's go down now.
Yeah.
But you obviously can't. It's very scary.
Descend.
Right. This was at 7:15 p.m. In his report, the captain reported... That's funny. Stated, maybe.
I reported in my report. As you can see in my report, I hence reported.
This is Wikipedia, you all. An object tracking along on a parallel course a few miles away. It's just like, hey, look at me! You guys want to go
Keeping up with you.
They're just like super friendly. Where you going?
Yeah.
It's like trying to mouth.
They're like, pull over.
And they're like mouthing things. We're like, oh, is it mouthing things at us? I'm looking through like pretend binoculars. It looks like they're saying pull over.
But we're in the air. We don't
pull over where? They can hover, superior
we
technology.
do not have those capabilities. So
Unless you're in a helicopter.
Or a kerosene lantern.
Kerosene lantern. Or Elon's eggs.
Elon, what are you doing with Twitter? Stop.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. What's your end game?
I know someone that I know posted on Facebook and was like, is he trying to take over mind control of the United States? I'm like, son, we already got that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already so many subliminal messages and things.
Oh, God, yes.
If you think that you're not being controlled in one way or another, you're wrong. Go live off the grid. That maybe then you won't be.
Everything. Like,
yes.
Keaton went on a field trip to Lindenwood University and talked about how amazing the campus was because it has a Barnes and Noble on campus. I'm like, girl, you ain't
that
going
campus is not even.
I'm like, we can. Well, she went straight from St. Charles Community College
Well,
to there, so it seemed. Yeah, I'm like, well, one, we can't afford that.
No.
And two, you're going to community college first.
Right.
Anyway, so now I just keep getting all these Lindenwood stuff. It's so frustrating.
It is.
And just like, it just feels like such an invasion.
It is. I'm looking at getting my master's, and I looked at Lindenwood because they have a master's in human resources. $50-something thousand. I was like, you dumb. And that's just on 100% online. I'm like, I'm not even coming to your fancy.
Yeah, you don't need room, board, nothing.
No. $54,000, and they just keep texting you, and it's like,
But I didn't even like look them up on anything. We just had a conversation.
Yeah.
And now I'm just being bombarded.
It's creepy.
From them.
Lindenwood, get your life together. Also, Lindenwood's one of those colleges that like pretends like they're old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the buildings are like meant to kind of look
like there's
historic.
Some Ivy League.
Yeah, and it's like no, you built that a year ago. Get out of here. You're not Yale. Go on. Anyway, moving on. So we're back with Captain Pierre. In his report, he reported an object tracking along. I already said that. He describes it as a brilliantly lit rectangular object with a string of smaller lights trailing the object.
Oh.
Like, a string of cans on a Just Married car.
Married, yeah.
Oh, let's go on an intergalactic ride.
Come on, honey.
So cute. At 7:19, the pilots noticed a sizable silent explosion near the large object. 2 minutes later, a second explosion occurred.
Is it backfiring?
It's a jalopy.
That's always so scary. Like if you're outside walking down the street and something
like
backfires,
gunshots.
it's terrifying.
Yeah. This is a jalopy. It's like,
it is.
Yeah.
It's not the Tesla version of UFOs.
Teslas. 2 minutes later, a second explosion occurred, which faded to a blue cloud around the object. Interesting. Daryl Dorey, his sister Annette, and his mother were sitting on their front porch in Mahone Bay when they noticed a large object maneuvering above the southwestern horizon. The next day, Daryl wrote a letter to RCAF. What's that?
The Royal Canadian
Armed Forces. Something, yeah. Yes, Air Forces.
We're close.
Yeah, it's Air Forces. You're right. I could not think of what the R meant, but yeah. Greenwood Base Commander asking what was flying over. He wrote a letter. Dear sir, ma'am. When you get this in 10 days? What was that? Can you go there?
Yeah.
Make a phone call?
Yeah. What year was this?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Hold on. Still don't know.
Okay.
Still don't know.
Well, it's fine.
No, I need to know. 1967.
They had telephones.
They totally had telephones. And yellow pages or white pages. Mm-hmm. So, look it up. Okay, asking what was flying over the water because he had never seen anything like it. So we're just getting different accounts, obviously. While standing at the wheelhouse of his vessel, Captain Leo Howard Mercy was looking at 4 blips on his Decca radar that were stationary. When he looked up about 7 miles from the vessel's windows, what?
He has great eyesight. You could look up 7 miles.
No, it actually says 17.
Wow! Whoa!
When he looked up about 28 kilometers, 17 miles from the vessel's windows, yeah, I don't understand that, he could see the 4 bright objects. Was he just looking up and he's like, yeah, it was about 17 miles.
Yeah, how do you know? He doesn't know.
Depth perception, Leo. Howard Mercy.
I just want to say, have mercy, Uncle Jesse. I don't know.
Oh my God, I love Full House. The entire crew of nearly 20 fishermen, he could see the 4 bright objects situated in a roughly rectangular formation. The entire crew of nearly 20 fishermen stood on deck and watched the object in the northeastern sky. Mercy radioed the Rescue Coordination Center with an R-E, not E-R. That always cracks me up. You know, we're ER at the end. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry. I was just like, can I read this?
And the harbor master in Halifax asking for an explanation and filed a report with the Lunenburg RCMP. Okay, great.
So many letters.
That's the mounted police. We know that one. What are they going to do? They're on foot on the horses.
Well, yeah, I was going to say they're mounted, so they're not on foot.
The horses are on foot.
On the horse
Thighs
shoes.
get so hurty after
I would assume after a while you just... It's like when you play guitar, you get calluses and then
I know, but you're just like constantly like, oh, riding this horse.
Well, they're probably wearing chaps. I don't know.
It's very sexual.
It really is.
They're just riding through. I mean, it'd be really hard to take a police officer very seriously when they're like arresting you on a horse.
And when their horses just poop all that time.
I know. They're just like talking very sternly with a plop.
Yes.
You know, you're like,
And do they have to clean that up?
Probably not.
Well, that's just
Wrong.
rude.
Yeah. Or don't they okay, am I making this up that sometimes they have a thing that like goes by the horse's butt that catches the poop?
Oh, I don't know.
Am I making that up? It's like a diaper.
I just know like every parade I've ever been to, it's like,
it's like a
who's
horse
gonna clean up all
diaper.
this horse poop.
But then who's taking that off?
Yeah.
It's like,
Is that part of their job? Or is that...
They don't get paid enough.
No.
Clearly,
I do not want to
whatever
be
it is.
a Mountie.
No. The Chronicle Herald. Oh, to have been a journalist at a newspaper back in the 80s, you know? I feel like it would have been fun.
Yeah.
No?
I feel like you have real big glasses.
Yeah, and you're just, everything's very busy and intense, and you're like, I'm on a deadline.
Hair is always busy.
You've got these tiny notebooks that you're taking notes
Yes.
in frantically while you're talking.
Or recording it on like one of those tape recorders where you have to push play and record at the same time for it to record.
With your fingers are so far apart.
Yes.
How big is your tape recorder?
You may have to do this if it's too big.
Back when you could be listening to the radio and then just record a song you wanted.
Yeah, but you got to really be paying attention.
Yeah.
And then get it
Right
and
on
miss
there.
the beginning. But then it would get to the end of the song and the DJ would just start talking over
the song. God, DJs suck.
Hey, this is Rowdy Rodney with KPG, everybody. Like, shut up.
Rowdy Rodney in the morning. You're like, why are you in the... God. Why do they all talk like that? It's so bad. The Chronicle Herald and local radio stations reported a glowing object that had been seen by many people who had called their newsroom. Ring, ring, ring.
There's so many phones.
Where is this coming from? It's just like 500 desks. Oh, they reported witnessing strange glowing objects flying around Halifax at around 10 p.m. Where did we get to Shag Harbour? I don't know. Come along, shall we? On the night of 4 October 1960s. It's just funny when we say things like that because it's so wrong coming out of our mouth. At around 11:20 p.m. Atlantic daylight time, it was reported that what freaking nerd on Wikipedia was
You
like,
don't need to be this specific.
we can tell whatever time zone it is by where you are if we cared to look.
we don't.
This nerd's like, well, we gotta put in whatever the time zone is. Is it mountain? I only know.
Eastern Pacific. Central Standard.
Well, that's all 4 of them. We've hit all 4 of the ones in our country.
Well, I'm saying those are the only ones we're familiar with.
Well, and that's the only ones that Canada probably is too. So what are the time zones on the other side of the world? Do they have them?
They're like
Yes.
probably. But what about like the places that are like a day, like Australia, a whole day ahead?
Yeah.
What's that time zone? Tomorrow? In tomorrow time?
And Tomorrowland. Well, it's not tomorrow for them. It's today.
Yeah. So weird.
We're backwards. They're like, oh, backwards time.
God. Never gonna catch up, America.
We're so dumb. Maybe they don't have names for their times. No, they do.
They even have time zones. Is it just the same time all across?
Maybe
the
it
continent?
is. Why do we have time zones? Depends on
Well, because it's where
sun-
you are located with the sun. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, I mean,
Yeah.
the sun would be rising
That's
at like
true.
2 a.m. in some
That's
places
true.
if you didn't have time zones. Again, because we're so big.
Yeah.
The United States
So
is
big.
so large.
Ew. I didn't mean it like that. It's so gross. God. Okay. Us and time. Did you come here to talk about time zones? Probably not. It was reported that something had crashed into the waters of Shag Harbour. At least 11 people saw a low-flying lit object. Lit. That's so...
Stop trying to make what happen.
so embarrassing I said that. Head towards the harbor. Multiple witnesses, reported hearing a whistling sound like a bomb, then a whoosh, and finally a bang. Wow,
I remembered
onomatopoeias.
all those sounds.
First I had a whoosh. Okay. The object was never officially identified and was therefore referred to as an unidentified flying object in Government of Canada documents. Did they do a dive? They did. No, they didn't.
Oh, how big is Shag Harbour? Is it diveable?
Oh, wait, no, they did. They did do a dive. We'll get there. The Canadian military became involved in a subsequent rescue and recovery effort. I should have just read the next sentence. The initial report was made by local resident Laurie Wickens and 4 of his friends. Driving through Shag Harbour on Highway 3, they spotted a large object descending into the waters off the harbor. Attaining a better vantage point, Wickens and his friends saw an object floating 250 to 300 meters, 820 to 980 feet, offshores in the water of Shag Harbour. Wickens contacted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Detachment in Barrington Passage and reported he had seen... So, I mean, do they have cars to drive long distances? I just imagine they were only in parks. I'm thinking of
Rangers.
Yeah, like Central Park's mounted police. They're just like, okay, we'll be there tomorrow. We're going to hop on our horses and we'll be right there. They just have all these packs on their horses.
And you just...
It's Monty Python. Oh my God. Yep. Okay, great. Assuming an aircraft had crashed, within about 15 minutes, 2 RCMP officers arrived at the scene. Concerned for survivors, the RCMP detachment contacted the Rescue Coordination Center in Halifax to advise.
So many organizations.
It's a lot. Canada's got a lot going on. To advise them of the situation and ask if any aircrafts were missing. So I guess that's like the why did I do this to myself? We have something like that.
Yeah,
too.
the air
Traffic control.
ATC. No.
That's that. Right.
No. But we have somebody who's in charge of
We have one of
the
those
air.
too.
Somebody just looks at the sky and they know
It's
FAA.
maybe something like that.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Yep, we know. We know these things. To advise them of the situation, okay. Before any attempt at rescue could be made, the flying object was with lights still showing started to sink and disappear from view. Ooh, so they could see it descending like the Titanic with the lights. Weird.
Well, that's
Interesting. A rescue mission was quickly assembled. Within half an hour of the crash, local fishing boats went out to the crash site in the waters of the Gulf of Maine off Shag Harbour to look for survivors. No survivors' bodies or debris were taken, either by the fishermen or by Canadian Coast Guard search and rescue cutter, which arrived about an hour later from nearby Clark's Harbour. There's so many harbors. By the next morning, RCC Halifax had determined that no aircraft were missing. While still tasked with the search, the captain of the Canadian Coast Guard cutter... What? Is that like a word for a boat? I'm so confused.
or is it cut stuff? I'm thinking the Jaws of Life.
It's exactly what I was thinking, too.
We're gonna get down there! Well, I guess, though, if it really was a plane crash, I mean...
You'd have to cut people... I mean, they're dead, though.
Yeah,
they've drowned.
They are not...
It's
amphibians.
over.
They can't hold their breath for 2 hours.
Over.
Well, Well, if it's a rescue, like a recovery mission. now,
But wouldn't you bring it up and then cut them out?
I don't know how things
That'd be like
work.
so hard down there.
It's hard to bring stuff up.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of like airplanes and ships and stuff are still at the bottom of the ocean because.
Well, that's really far.
Well, then they
bring them up.
They
Potentially.
break up too.
Oh,
When they
yeah.
hit. I don't know. I don't actually know any of this. I'm basing it
Yeah, they
all
like
on
break
television.
apart from Titanic.
Well, no, I mean aircraft.
Oh my
Like
god.
in the impact of the water, they like break apart.
Keaton doesn't listen to this, so I can say this. She reached out to ask me ideas for stuff to get you for Mother's Day, and I sent her something that I have to tell you.
Oh, no.
Because I hope she gets it for you. And if she doesn't, I am. Okay? It's a sticker.
Why is she reaching out to you?
Because she's like, well, it was so sweet. She was like, you're like our family, and you know her. And I was like, yeah, girl, I got you. And I sent her all kinds of ridiculous crap that is going to be, you're going to love if she gets it. Anyway, but I sent her this sticker from Etsy, and it's 2 Fresno night crawlers. And one's laying down like this, and the other one's sketching, and it says, draw me like one of your French night crawlers. I was dying. And it's all sexy. It has like 2 like blushing cheeks. If you have not got on Etsy and looked up the
it's
Fresno
amazing.
Nightcrawler merch on there.
And the Mothman.
Oh my god.
I still don't understand that Mothman ate my... What is that from? At Denny's.
We should Google it, I guess. On like private, on a private tab. You don't know what'll come up. Some like
You really don't.
role playing.
Ew.
If that's your fetish. Okay.
Ew. Yeah, that should not be your fetish.
Oh no, Mothman. Okay, yeah. Anyway, go on Etsy, look up Fresno Nightcrawler and Mothman stuff. It's
Live, laugh,
hilarious.
lurk.
I mean, I hope she gets it for you because it's. Please, if she doesn't, tell me because I'm ordering them 2 of them for each of us. It's 1 for each, obviously. 2. You never know where you want to put them.
You don't. You always use spam.
So funny. People are great. The internet's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, draw me like one of your French night crawlers. Oh, Kate. How did she say that with a straight face?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that whole movie is just amazing.
It was like her breakout role. She had to like nail it.
She's great too. Wonderful
really
actress. Okay, where am I? I'm with, here we go, with the cutters. Where we stopped
Whatever
at the
they are.
cutters. I feel like it's a type of boat, but I don't know. Okay, so the cutter received a radio message from RCC Halifax that all commercial, private, and military aircraft were accounted for. Okay, great. The next morning, RCC Halifax also sent a priority telex. Telex. What? Is that like a telegram?
I don't know.
But a text? Nobody
Fax.
knows. It's a beep, 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 beep. Oh, that's Morse code. Oh, fax machine. My grandpa used to have one. It was so funny. But he started getting like porn on it. I'm like, what is this? It would just print on through. And you're like, because you can't deny it. You know what I mean? It's just, you get like ads and crap. I'm like, can you just quit using my ink? Can I accept or deny this fax, please?
Thank God. Now you can just scan documents with your iPad.
Yeah, or your phone.
No need to fax.
And you can get porn on your phone, so you don't have to get fax
It's
porn.
one-stop shop.
What is the... Well, I wish this would print a little faster. God. Oh, gosh. Okay. Now, why did I say that out loud? The same morning, RCC, sent the telefax, whatever that, or telex, to the air desk at Air Force Headquarters at Ottawa, which handled all civilian and military UFO sightings, informing them of the crash. Oh, man, can I work at the air desk? You're just like... That's amazing. Civilian.
There's a lot of downtime though too.
Yeah, you just be doing other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like waiting for another UFO sighting. Informing them of the crash and that all conventional explanations had been dismissed. Therefore, this was labeled a UFO report. The head of the air desk then sent another priority telex to the Navy headquarters concerning the UFO report and recommended an underwater search be mounted. Ooh. The Navy in turn sent another priority telex.
How expensive are these to send? Wasteful government spending.
There's a link. Let me open it. What a telex is. I just need to know. Oh, it's a telegraph.
What?
They had that in the 60s? They didn't have anything better than a
They had telephones. I'm crying out loud. Call someone.
Make a call. Okay, that's great. Just like sending telexes. So then they sent a telex to here, and then they sent one to there. 2 days after the incident had been observed, a detachment of Navy divers from Fleet Diving, you could not pay me enough to do that job, was assembled, and for the next 3 days, they combed the seafloor of the Gulf of Maine off Shag Harbour looking for an object, but no object was found. What? Because the government already took it away and hid it.
For sure. Or it went through a portal.
Or it went through a portal. Absolutely. The Shag Harbour reports received extensive front page coverage in all these newspapers, obviously, with a... Oh, here's one of the headlines. Could be something concrete in Shag Harbour. That's a terrible headline.
Yes.
The article by Ray McLeod, it included witness descriptions of an alleged object and crash. Okay, great. The Air Force's search and rescue, all that great stuff. Okay. The head of the Air Force's Air Desk in Ottawa, Squadron Leader Bain, who recommended the Navy undertake an underwater search, was also quoted saying the Air Force was very interested in the matter. We get hundreds of reports every week, but the Shag Harbour incident is one of the few where we may get something concrete on it. Well, you didn't. The article also mentioned UFO reports that immediately preceded the incident, including one from a woman in Halifax at 10 p.m. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Nothing, so they never found anything. The end.
All right.
But was something there?
Yes.
I don't know. Do you know? Nobody knows.
So many letters in Canada. All the same letters we have here, but still. They
put them in
they got acronyms for days.
Orders.
All right. So I'm going to be talking about the Herrmann house, I think. This is from Nerdist.com.
Oh, okay.
By Lindsay Romaine.
Love you, lettuce.
Yes.
I
was going to say your noodles, but that's not it.
Ramen.
Yes.
Is there 2 N's
And I don't
Herrmann?
love ramen noodles. 2 R's, 2 N's, I think. I don't know. It's not the title of my thing.
You don't like ramen noodles, really?
I just...
Yeah, not your jam. They're slimy.
They're waxy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're here. We all know the line. It's one of the spookiest and most famous in all of horror. It's from the film Poltergeist, and it comes from Carol Ann Freeling.
Carol Ann.
Young and blonde and cherubic. Accurate.
Yeah.
Makes it all the more terrifying. The they she's referring to are ghosts who've come into her suburban house through a portal. And with them has come something known as the Beast. A dark presence that will eventually snatch Carol Ann through her bedroom closet and take her into another dimension. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Poltergeist. But before all of that happens, the Freeling home experiences paranormal activity that one can liken to the poltergeist of the film's title. Poltergeists are known as noisy spirits.
Yes.
Shut up! Prone to physical disturbances, raps on the wall, bent spoons, moving furniture. There have been thousands of real-life reported cases of poltergeist activity around the world, and one such case loosely inspired the film Poltergeist.
Okay.
Didn't know it was
neither.
inspired on anything.
Me neither.
Here's everything you need to know about the Herrmann house and the terrifying things that happened back there back in 1958.
Back there.
On the evening of February 3rd, 1958, a man named James Herrmann from Seaford, Long Island, New York, received a telephone call at work from his wife, Lucille. She informed him and she and their teenage children, Jimmy and Lucy, heard a series of popping sounds coming from various spots around the house.
Ugh.
When they investigated, they found uncapped bottles of several substances completely upended in many different rooms, including a vial of holy water, which spilled all over a bedroom dresser.
Gosh.
That's going to leave a watermark.
Who just has bottles of
Can you
holy
imagine?
water?
Think of bottles of stuff you have at your house too. Just all the caps pop. I'm like, there's
100
Frank's
billion
wing
things.
sauce. There's Olaplex shampoo and conditioner. There's
Too much.
Yeah, just what a nightmare.
Yeah.
Herrmann, skeptical of the whole thing, advised his family to stay calm and keep the occurrences to themselves. Like, shut up, don't tell anybody.
Sounds familiar.
He believes some...
I mean, not to my life.
No.
I shouldn't have said that.
but...
Very typical to these stories.
types of stories.
Yes.
He believes some prankster teenagers got inside and tried to spook the family. Well, that's a weird prank.
Yeah.
They TP your trees. They
Yeah.
don't pop your bottles. Herrmann.
No.
His first name's not Herrmann, but whatever. I forget what it was already. It was
Were they unscrewed?
His last name's Herrmann.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was the popping noises they heard, I guess, was the caps
Well, and how many pops
popping
did
off.
they hear?
I don't know. It said a series of pops.
Well, at our house, it'd be like literally 20,000.
yes. And someone would get hit with a flying cap,
yeah.
for sure.
Or hot sauce to the eye.
yes. Ah!
Cats. You're
The
blinded.
worst haunting of all.
Yeah, for real.
It was important to him to keep things under control, but 5 days later, the same thing happened again. And the next day, it happened again. This time, Mr. Herrmann watched in horror as bottles moved about his bathroom as if dragged by some unseen hand.
Ugh.
This time, he called the police.
What are they going to
Hello,
do?
police!
My bottles are moving all about.
My Frank's wing sauce.
What are they going to do?
I don't know. The first step would have been to put all my bottles in like Ziploc freezer bags. Step one.
Yeah, so if they bust or
It's just
explode.
inside the
Yes.
bag.
Well, once you've cleaned up all that mess, you don't want to do it again.
That's right. Maybe Ziploc didn't exist back then. I think we've talked about the invention of Ziploc. We know nothing about it. When the police arrived, more bottles began popping throughout the home.
Oh my God.
Jeez. They're like, okay, he wasn't kidding. How many bottles are left? They're
Put all the bottles away.
They performed a series of tests to rule out radio transmissions or electrical disturbances. What? But the bottles were not warm or otherwise charged. Whatever was happening to them could not be explained with logic. On February 17th, a priest came to the home to bless it. News of the activity at the Herrmann house spread like wildfire and was the subject of an article in Life magazine.
Oh.
People wrote the Herrmann's letters, offering potential reasonable explanations, while others believed the activity to be the result of poltergeists. Whatever the case, more activity occurred, and officers even witnessed the moving of objects this time. To make matters all the more unusual, the Herrmann house was not your typical haunted house. It was a suburban model purchased new in 1953. The Herrmanns were the only people who'd ever lived there. Which I think is what makes poltergeists and hauntings in general even more terrifying. Because it's like, well, who is it then?
Yeah.
We're the only people who've
You
ever
got
been
to worry
here.
about the ground.
Yes. There was nothing to indicate the unfinished business of some previous tenant, so why did this seem like an otherwise traditional haunting? That's what Dr. J.B. Rhine, director of Duke University's Parapsychology Laboratory, hoped to find out.
Why are we not
I don't
there?
get it. How we took a real wrong turn at our fork in the road.
We did. We could be at Duke University's.
For sure.
That's a thing? That's so awesome.
They would have for sure shut that lab down the second you and I started
Well,
anything with
We
it.
just show up in lab coats and they're like,
We're like, what part of the parapsychology unit?
Dr. Amy.
Can't get an actual doctorate in this, so we're just saying we have honorary doctorates.
We wear glasses
yes,
to look the part.
we do. Zach Bagans, I don't know, officiated our ceremony. We are official.
Or what, our marriage? Officiated our
license.
A license.
To be parapsychologists. I don't know.
He officiated our ceremony.
I mean, if we ever do pull the trigger and get married, it has to be Zach.
Like Zach. If I can't have you, I'll have Amy.
But you still must officiate.
Bagans.
In old bedazzled jeans.
If your last name is Baggins, just say Baggins.
Yeah.
Is it because you don't want to be associated with Bilbo Baggins of Lord of the Rings fame?
Maybe.
Amy is blank looking at me.
Lord of the Rings never went there, sorry. So anywho, this guy went from Duke and then approached the Herrmanns after about a month of disturbances. Ryan believed that the presence of the teenage Herrmann children might have attracted the poltergeist activity, seeing as adolescents are usually present in the home where poltergeist activity takes place. He brought some of his colleagues to the house and they studied it, interviewing the family and recording some of the mysterious occurrences. However, shortly after their arrival, the activity ceased. All in all, there were about 70 documented reports of unusual activities in the house between February 3rd and March 10th. The family eventually moved away. Years later, daughter Lucille appeared in a documentary, Real Fear, The Truth Behind the Movies, which aired on the Chiller Network.
Yes, Chiller.
Another home that was subject of the same documentary, the notorious Amityville Horror House, is only about 7 miles away from the Herrmann house.
Weird.
So, how did the events inspire Poltergeist? Fans of the 1982 Tobe Hooper directed, Steven Spielberg produced horror film Poltergeist will recognize the Herrmann story. It sounds similar to what the Freeling family goes through. A young, happy family moves into a new suburban home with their children and quickly notice disturbance, noises, bent utensils, objects moving about. When the activity increases, they seek help from a local university's parapsychology department who come to investigate the house. Eventually, fed up with the lack of resolution and the disappearance of their daughter, they seek out a psychic. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Tangina, wasn't that her name?
I remember.
And she's like, this house is clean. Who helps them cleanse the house. Obviously.
That woman was very creepy.
Yes. Poltergeist is more sensationalized than the story of the Herrmanns. Well, it's a movie.
And she goes into a television.
Yes. There are physical apparitions, Native American burial grounds, body chomping portals, and skeletons popping out of the swimming pool.
That pool isn't wrong.
Yes.
That pool's wrong.
The film is also said to be cursed. Stars Dominique Dune and Heather O'Rourke both passed away very young, and other mysterious activity was reported on set.
Well, Dominic Dunn was murdered.
Right, and then Heather O'Rourke died from a really
She's a little
crazy
girl, right?
illness. Yeah. We can't speak to the curse, but it's definitely a story that follows the poltergeist more than that of the Herrmanns, the real people who loosely inspired the film. Then there's something on Long Island Pulse. Let's see. Do they cover anything new?
Long Island. So interesting. I didn't really know that.
He
that's...
told them to stay calm. I heard all
Stay
the popping
calm.
sounds. The
As if you
police
could
showed
stay
up.
calm. I mean, honestly. We always talk about this too, that there's like no one to call, you know, when this sort of thing happens.
Who are you going to call?
Right. Bad joke.
Ghostbusters.
But like you can't call the police.
No.
I mean, you could, but they're going to be like, huh?
Okay. I
Not
guess,
our
I
jurisdiction.
think this is just very redundant. Oh, wait. What's all this? An officer sent to investigate passed the case to Superior. So the police department sent Patrolman James Hughes to investigate the Herrmann's home. When the patrolman was interviewing the family in the living room, everyone heard a noise from the bathroom. Once again, medicine and shampoo had spilled on their own. The patrolman noticed no loud noises, tremors, or other disturbances coming from the house during their time. Stumped, Hughes passed the case on to his superior, Detective Joseph Tozzi. Joe, check it out.
Can you take this on?
So Detective Tozzi spent 8 weeks investigating the house.
Wow.
On the first day, he discovered that a bottle of perfume had tipped over and spilled in Lucy's room on its own. On the second, while investigating the basement, a 100-pound bronze horse figurine.
What?
Tacky
Why do
decor,
you have
Herrmann.
that? How to get in the basement? Can you imagine?
Yeah, who had to carry that down?
Maybe it was a walkout.
Let's hope. That reportedly flew across the room on its own and struck the detective in the back of the legs. Ow!
That's dangerous.
So he kept meticulous notes, but came up with no reason for the activity. Hang on, I gotta see what article this is from now. This is from Ranker.
Ranker, always good. Yikes. Bronze horse?
The day after Detective Tozzi's investigation, James's cousin, Marie Murtha, was watching television with Jimmy and Lucy when she saw a porcelain figurine lift off the coffee table, move several inches, and drop to the carpet. That's when the Herrmann family, devout Catholics, turned to the church. Father William McLeod of the Church of St. William of the Abbot arrived and sprinkled holy water on each of the house's 6 rooms. Despite this, the paranormal activity continued. On February 10th, 1958, news of the poltergeist had reached the media. It became a national news story and was featured on the drama anthology series Armstrong Circle Theater. Intense.
What?
Where it was titled House of Flying Objects.
House of Flying Horses.
One headline read, Balmy Bouncing Bottles Jar Long Islanders Home.
That's what just happened to you? Long Island.
It went on way
Jars.
longer than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, that's a really long title.
That's the worst title.
So all the media attention led concerned citizens and self-appointed experts, us, to send in their theories. Altogether, about 250 phone calls and letters came in. They suggested things like Martians, Satan, electromagnetic fields, sunspots, or a secret Soviet submarine causing magnetic field disruptions. Others thought spirits were responsible and believed they were punishing the Herrmanns for a sin they committed. Judgmental.
Yes, super.
Religious groups reached out and offered to help, and ministers held services on the lawn unasked. No, don't hold services on that lawn unasked. That's not okay. So Detective Tozzi consulted with nearby experts who might plausibly know something about the events. He checked with the local Air Force base, Mitchell Airfield. Air Force officials said their planes didn't fly in the area and couldn't produce an effect that would cause the phenomena anyway. Next, Tozzi consulted with the Radio Corporation of America to determine if the disturbances might be caused by radio waves to no effect. Then he approached the Long Island Lighting Company. An inspector used an oscilloscope in the basement in an attempt to pick up underground vibrations, but found nothing. So eventually, the guy from Duke came. Then Pratt and Roll arrived. Blah, blah, blah. I think that's about it.
That's
okay. I don't know. Now we're on black, ground, blue writing. We're just going to stop.
That's where
now.
things go downhill. Everyone.
So anyways, I had no idea Poltergeist was inspired by
neither.
true events
Me
from
neither.
the Herrmann family.
Fascinating.
All
Well,
right.
everyone, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Follow our socials on Instagram and Twitter. We are at On Haunt Podcast. And on Facebook, we're just On the Haunt. Come check us out.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
I was going to say see you, but whatever. Send us a video.
Yeah.
We might figure out how to make it work. We don't know.
We don't know. You can follow Amy on Twitter at Amy on the Haunt.
I never post.
And I'm at Haunted Whitney. Well, get on there. Start
I know.
working your social.
I know. I'm
I
bad
don't post a lot either. We have busy lives. Not that
Yeah.
you care.
No.
God, the
Okay,
excuses.
guys, we're going to shut
Okay,
up
goodbye.
now. No one cares. Bye.